Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Echoes of Mana video, and for being a night when I wasn't planning on doing a bunch of these, I've ended up doing a bunch of these. But it's a new game, it's really fun, so let's go ahead and do another one. Now, if you watched the last video, I did get the Crimson Wizard, but I want to test him out. I want to see if he is like a good mover, what's his movement like, how smooth are his skills, is he a good chainer, all of that, because we're going to do essentially a way too early character review of him, and we'll go into his max stats and potential, because I want to highlight the word potential with this guy as I skip this story that we've already seen. I think it's going to be a while before we unlock this guy's full potential. We'll get into all of that, but let's start with our guy. So here he is. I'm going to go ahead and throw auto off. He cast his buff before I did it. That's fine. So that's an intelligence buff right here. You can see he kind of zips around the map like this. His auto attacks are pretty slow, 1, 2, 3, and he does that like ball on the third one. If you go 1, 2, 3, you can't really cancel it like you can with a Reese, but he's also not stuck. Like if you're doing your auto attacks, you're pretty easy. Like, okay, that's not bad. I don't think he's meant to be an auto attack unit anyway. Let's see his skill. So here's his fire skill. A decent sized AoE right there, and he aced both those mobs with that. So early returns on this skill seem pretty good, and it's a 3-hit combo skill. So that combo was nice. He looks like he could be a good chainer. Now I've cast it, twice, and he's basically low on MP, so I think he might be a good candidate for some MP regeneration or MP gear. And I think MP gear on these pure casting units might be something that is clutch later. Now let's end this little part by looking at his oh no, we have let's use his special technique. Here we go. Here it comes. Meteor. It's called Ancient Cursed. It's also known as I drop a meteor on your head. So that looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and clean up the boss of this map, and then we'll move into the rest of the guide. Like, how's he going to do here? Okay, slap that guy down with his magic. Really, his magic should be called like slap fire. 1, 2, 3. It's a 5 or 6 hit combo attack. I believe it's a 6-hit combo attack. So that is going to be something he has up on, say, like an Angela, for example. Because as we go into the rest of this review and we look at his stats, I think you might be kind of underwhelmed by his stats, but you should be overwhelmed by his potential, I think, especially as we get later into the game, get some better gear, get some better memory gems, and get some duplicates of this guy. Okay, let's go ahead and look at his max stats here, and you see him on the screen, and I bet, like, if you're like me, your first impression of these was a little bit underwhelming. For example, Angela, another nuker in the game, has a higher int than the Crimson Wizard does. So I was a little disappointed by that, but then I did remember his main skill is a chaining attack. So he's not only going to probably do more damage than her in an extended fight by just, ramping up that chain, but he's also going to help your other units do more damage by being a chainer. One of the best things about Reese, who I play all the time, is she really benefits your group by driving that chain up. I've seen 100 plus chains, which is a huge increase in damage. Also, like Angela, high spirit, low con. If we go to and more HP, he does have more HP than her, so stat board is okay. And I'm honestly kind of happy that our base 5-star units are not going to be just like, I didn't want to see the same jump, for example, that you see from base 3 to base 4-star units. There's a huge gap between them. The gap is not as big base stat wise based on the one that we have so far from 4 to 5. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. If we look at his special technique and skills, his special technique is that meteor drop that you saw that deals magic damage. Exploder, that's his chaining move. And then his buff is an int plus 40% buff with a con minus 40% debuff to himself. This is better than the other mage's int buff. Popoi, Angela, for example. Theirs is like plus 25%, his is plus 40. So a bigger buff, again, that will help him do more damage. You just got to remember to cast the buff. And sometimes I forget to cast the buff. I think he will be a better manual player, like a better manual unit than an auto unit. But let's continue. His support skills. This is a big one. And I want to show you why this is big. So I'm going to go to him in my party. Like I'm going to go to my allies. And when you're in your allies, you can actually see, you can like simulate unleashing them. And so that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to go to the Crimson Wizard. Loading, 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 loading. Loading, loading, loading. We loaded. Okay, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to Unleash. Now, at +0, you don't have any of your support abilities yet, but at just +1, you get that fire damage plus 10% buff straight away. At +2, you get your skills start to level up, then you get your ST gauge up starting at +3, skill level up, and then ST gauge plus 100%. This is kind of the opposite way that the 4 stars work. At +1, getting that allied buff is very important. And right now, we only have one other copy of him, even in the game. I checked the banners, he's not been added there. So the only other way to get him is to farm 200 more of those dark mana crystals, the things you trade to get him. And there's nowhere to farm him right now. You're tapped out at 200. But when we get access to that, he will be a good partner, not only for other mages, but any other fire unit. In fact, he might be a better partner for a physical damage fire unit than he is for a magic damage fire unit, because he won't be stealing resources from them. I mean, like, it depends on how long it takes, but we might not have, like, people might not have 2 sets of, like, mage gear, right? But you might have extra set of physical damage gear for maybe a future physical fire damage unit that we get. Otherwise, obvious options for pairing him with in the future would be like 4-star Popoi, 3-star Angela, etc. Right? Whatever your favorite fire unit is, as soon as you get this buff, a continuous plus 10% buff for both him and his partner, which again, the 4-star units, oftentimes it's one or the other with them. His is a 10% damage buff to both he and his partner as long as they're a fire unit. Really good. That's good. So I think this guy's future potential is very high. Right now, what do you get? If you get him right now, you get a max level 75 unit. That's it. Basically, by starting at +5, you just don't have to ascend him at all. You do have to unleash him. It does show that maybe at some point we'll get some generic 5-star unleashing materials. I obviously don't have any now, so I'm sitting here like this, unable to unleash him. Hopefully, some more stuff comes out for him pretty soon. Otherwise, I'm going to level him up anyway. He's still going to be one of the strongest people on my team. Yeah, just looking forward to when I can pair him with a future fire unit that I build. Maybe I'll build Popoi. Everybody says she's good. I don't know. I'm not quite sold yet. Popoi. I got Crimson Wizard. Okay, that's my way too early review and breakdown of the Crimson Wizard. Let me know what you think. If you see some potential in him that I don't see, you think he's good, think he's bad, do let me know. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.